Today we're doing lesson 7.12, types of angles. And we know that how many types of angles are there that we've learned about? Harvard?
3.
Would be 4, right? Because we've mostly focused on 3 types, but there's also the straight angle, right? So we've learned about 4 different types of angles. Acute, which are smaller than 90 degrees, less than 90 degrees.
Obtuse.
Right, which are a exact right angle, which the corner of paper is a right angle. So acute, you can't see this ray because it's behind the paper. It's there, but in acute angles you can't see it, right? Because it's hidden. And then the right angles, which is like the middle, the half, and then obtuse, which is it because obtuse angles are bigger, the ray shoots outside the paper. Okay? Mai and Jada are looking at this drawing. Jada says it is just a line. Mai says it is an angle. With whom do you agree? Fancy language. Not who do you agree with or who's right. It's with whom do you agree? Okay, raise your hand if you agree with Jada that says that this is just a line.
Well, can you agree with both or no?
No, because it says with whom. Raise your hand if you think Mai is correct that this is an angle. How do you know it's an angle? Todd?
Because
Well, you agreed with Mai, who said it's an angle. How do you know it's an angle and not just a straight line? Brooklyn?
it has a dot.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to give it to you both because you both said it at the same time. You started it before, but he was thinking, okay, because it has a dot, right? And that dot means there's 2 different rays, okay? And that dot, so what we're going to write on this one is with whom do you agree? Mai is correct. This is a straight angle because it has a point. And 2 rays. What's that point called where 2 rays meet? What's that point called, Evan?
A dot? No.
No. Fisher? No, it begins with a V. Zerelda? No. Athena? Vertex. Yes, girl, it's the vertex point. Okay, so when you guys have been measuring angles, I say put the bob, the very bottom of the protractor in the center, put that on the vertex of the angle, line up the bottom of the protractor with the bottom ray, and you are in business.
I was about to say by
Tyler and Andre were measuring an angle in a letter Y. Andre said the angle he measured is obtuse. Tyler said the angle he measured was acute. Explain why they could both be right. How are they both right? Athena?
The top part of the Y is like in a Q, and then the one where like the slanted one where it goes down and then out is obtuse.
So basically what you're saying is one of these is acute, one's obtuse. So that's how they can both be right, because they measure two different angles. There's two different angles here, right? Technically three if you count the straight angle. This for me was really hard to see, and I think you got it backwards, but I'm still gonna give it to you because it's really hard to tell.
Is it that?
So I'm gonna show you. Here is a perfect right angle.
Yeah, that's.
So if I line this paper up right here, do you see how this line comes out?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means the top angle is what?
Obtuse.
Obtuse. And then if I line it up with the bottom angle, see how one side disappears behind the paper? So that one would be acute. So we're gonna write an O right here and an A right here. Explain why they could both be right.
How?
There is an obtuse angle at the top and an acute angle at the bottom. You getting all this, Cameron? Okay, so there is an obtuse angle at the top and an acute angle at the bottom. Okay. Next, small angles and large angles. Identify each angle as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. I'm gonna pull sticks. Okay, what kind of angle is A, Devin?
That is AQ.
Okay, let me come over and show you something, Devin. So if I put this little post-it right here, you see how this shoots out? That means it's big and obtuse. Okay, so no point for that one. Okay, it is an obtuse angle, and because remember, obtuse has, you can see the whole thing. If I line that up, you can see both sides. Okay, so for A, we're gonna write down the word obtuse. Okay. What about angle B, Zerelda?
Acute.
Yes. Some of you are still writing obtuse with the letter A. There's no A in the letter obtuse. It begins with an O. Okay. Olivia, what kind of angle is angle C? Acute. Okay. What about an angle that is formed by two 45-degree angles? What would that be? Fisher.
90 degrees.
Which is what kind of angle?
Right angle.
A right angle. Nice job, Fisher. Yes. Okay, so think about it for a second. And if we've got a right angle, and we cut it in half, each of those are 45 degrees. So a right angle, which is 90 degrees, is made from two 45-degree angles. Huh? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Todd, what would a 91-degree angle be? Is 91 less than 90? If you have $91, do you have more than 90 or less than 90? You have $91, you have less than 90? Okay, 91-degree angle. Mary. Obtuse. If it's bigger than 90, it's obtuse. Okay. An angle that is in a rectangle. Macy, what kind of angles does a rectangle have? Right. Yes, girl. Right angles. The whole rectangle is made up of 4 right angles. Okay, what kind of angle is G, Evan? Yep. See how wide it is? It's like wide. So it is an obtuse angle. Okay. What about H? Athena.
Acute.
Acute. Okay. An angle that's made up or composed of 2 right angles. Emma? So think about this, Emma. This is a right angle, right? If I make another right angle, what kind of angle did I make right here? Straight angle, yeah. Okay. And last, an angle that's composed of 5 12-degree angles. Owen. So if you have 5 12-degree angles, if you think a 12 on top of a 12 on top of a 12, what would that be all together? A 60-degree angle. So what's classification is a 60-degree angle?
Acute.
Good work. Nice job. That's exactly right. We're going to add one little thing to this one and say 5 groups of 12 degrees equals 60 degrees. All right, turn the page. You didn't get the last thing I said right now. Okay, so we have the top part of a roof. It's a roof. It says find as many acute and obtuse angles as you can in the drawing. So what it wants us to write an A for the acute angles, make a square for the right angles, and an O for obtuse. So what I'm going to do is pull sticks and point to an angle and have you tell me whether it is obtuse, acute, or right. Okay, Colton. This top angle, what kind of angle is it? Acute, obtuse, or right?
Obtuse.
Obtuse. Good work, Colton. That's exactly right. So I'm going to put a letter O up there. If I hold my paper up here, my right angle paper, and I line it up there, see how you can see the other side of the angle? So that would be obtuse. Okay. Next, Harbor. What about this angle right here?
Acute.
Acute. It almost kind of forms an A for you right there, right? Acute. Okay. Ari, what about the angle next to this one? So this one right here.
Right.
A right angle, yep. So we're gonna make a square corner. Okay. Avis, what about this angle right here?
Obtuse.
Obtuse, that's correct. Are you guys thinking in your head what the answers are whenever I'm pointing out the angle?
Yeah.
Okay, Autry, what kind of angle is this one right here?
Acute.
Acute. Okay. Cameron, what kind of angle is this right here?
A right angle.
Very good, it is. Okay. Whoop. Haziel, what kind of angle is this right here?
Acute.
Acute. Okay. Brooklyn, what kind of angle is this right here?
A right.
Yep. I can just draw another box or another line there. And then one more. Ian, what is this angle right here?
That is an obtuse.
Okay, let's look and see. So if I line this up with the bottom, can you see the other side? No. It'd be acute. Okay. All right. Now, there's many more angles, but we're not going to spend all day on this one. We are going to go down and do the last one, which last two. It says hold on. Diego is holding a pattern block. So he's holding in his hand a pattern block that has two acute angles and two obtuse angles. Which of those blocks could he be holding? That's made up of two acute and two obtuse. Colton?
The blue rhombus.
Yes. Nice job, Colton.
And there's another one.
I know. So we're gonna put the blue rhombus is one of the shapes he could be holding. And then there is one more shape that is made up of two obtuse and two acute angles. Ari, what is it? Yep, the red trapezoid. So the blue rhombus and the red trapezoid are the two pattern blocks he could be holding. So if I look at the blue rhombus, this up here, this is a really tiny angle, right? So that would be acute, and this is the same size, another acute angle. And these are big and wide obtuse angles. So do you see how the blue rhombus has two acute and two obtuse? And then we have the trapezoid. So these bottom corners are both acute angles, but the top corners are both obtuse angles. Okay, next we have, it says he then picks up a pattern block that has no obtuse angles. Which pattern block could he be picking up? So he's got one in his hand that has 0 obtuse angles. So if you don't know the shape, you can always also say the color. Athena, what?
This,
Uh-huh.
the orange square.
Yes, the orange square is made up of 4 right angles, and so no obtuse angles. And then there's one more that has no obtuse angles. Macy, which one is it? Has all little angles. Yes, ma'am.
With the diamond
The diamond is a rhombus,
It's a
and it has 2 acute and 2 obtuse.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he then, let's see. Either the orange square which has 4 right angles, bless you, or the green triangle which has 3 acute angles.